Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. We've got the Yankees Post-Mortem Report Part 1 and why Eric Chavez wants everybody at foul territory fired immediately. And we've got the world premiere of Aaron Judge and Aaron Baboon, Bubbles Buffoon sitcom, Zoos on First. It's New York Minute Sports. New York Sports for New York Nuts. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go!
It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports Talk for Sports Nuts. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and YouTube.
They're just monkeying around at the zoo.
Aaron Baboon and Aaron Judge starring Zoos on First.
My Yankees lose to the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook, okay? And what I mean by that is I think that Yankee fans really didn't have their hopes up this postseason like we did last year. And the main reason because of that is that we didn't have a dude by the name of Juan Soto in our dugout. Now, last year, it was Big G that stood up, and he made some big hits, clutch hits, monumental hits for the New York Yankees, because what made him actually been able to do that was he had Juan Soto on the team. So they had to pitch around Juan Soto, and then they had to pitch to Giancarlo Stanton. So my question to you guys is this Aaron Baboon's fault? Bubbles, Buffoon, Baboon, Aaron Boone. And guess what, guys? He's not going anywhere. Bubbles, Buffoon, Baboon. You better get some extra bananas for opening day because he's going to be there, folks. And you know why? Because it wasn't his fault. It wasn't Aaron Boone's fault. The Anthony Volpe mess-up express didn't pull into the station. Lolev Dev actually was doing well. Austin Wells surrounded all scoring in clutch situations against the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. He was involved in every single one. So the only thing that you can pin on Aaron Baboon was not playing Ben Rice enough. The only thing that you can pin on Aaron Bubbles was the fact that he didn't start the game with McMahon and Goldschmidt, and then or reverse that with a defensive substitution for Rosario Caballero. So there's a lot of scenarios that could have turned out differently, but Mike, the starting pitching let the New York Yankees down. And you know what the craziest part about that is? That gives Aaron Boone the out, because they're going to sit there at the press conference and they're going to go, hey, we thought Volpe was going to hurt us. We thought Devin Williams was going to hurt us. No, it was actually the starting pitching. And Boone's going to have a job.
Well, then you're going to get Garrett Cole was injured. So that's another excuse for the Boone man.
Volpe had a torn labrum all year. So the excuse, Aaron Boone, boop, boop, excuse train. Yep, we're going to get plenty of that. But I have to admit, for a guy that's not a big Baboon fan, he doesn't deserve to be fired.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, because, from the outsider perspective, obviously they're in the playoffs every year, which is great, but that's Yankee standard, whether Boone's there or not. I don't think Boone does that bad of a job. I also don't follow him on a daily basis like you as much. But you just said you don't want Aaron Boone fired, right? You're fine with bringing him back next year?
I'm scared he's going to get replaced by another puppet, and the puppet's going to be worse. This puppet's actually had 8 years to tug on the strings and might have a little bit more of wiggle room as far as talking to Brian Cashman and having Hal Steinbrenner's ear. He is very well liked in that organization, Aaron Boone. He is a very well-liked guy. And the reason that Joe Girardi got fired was he was getting on guys' ass way too much. It's Club Boone. That's the problem, man. These guys, there is no ramifications to their actions. They are not afraid of the manager. And when you have a young squad like the New York Yankees with Ben Rice, Jason Dominguez, Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, all these rookies, yeah, you might have some veterans on your team, but dude, put the fucking foot down. And we might see that we don't see that maybe he puts the foot down in the locker, but no, you could get a sense that Cora puts the foot down. No one's fucking with Cora. No one's trying those cute little baby games with him, like the disciplinarian shit. And you see what happens when a guy like Devers tries to screw around with your team. He's gone.
Did you see the Susan Waldman interview? That it kind of just it says it falls into what you just said. Whether what she was on with WFAN, I forgot who it was. She said Aaron Boone is in lockstep with the analytical department with Cashman and the rest of those guys.
Yeah, she had mentioned that when he worked at ESPN, they had talked, and all he did was talk about analytics and statistics. Yeah, but like, dude, analytics is a two-headed monster. What happens is if you're the Dodgers, analytics works because you have the right dudes doing the analytics. The New York Yankees, you need to remember this, Mike. In the beginning of last year, they had an internal investigation on their analytics team. Do you know who actually conducted the investigation? Brian Cashman. So that's like, hey, man, we really need to fire the manager. So I hire the manager I want to fire to figure out the reason we got to fire him. I don't think we're going to find a really good reason. The Yankees are like caught between this. It's either shit or get off the pot. Either we're going to be a gut team or we're going to be an analytics team. And you know what? I've seen some shit in the comment section. I've heard some stuff that, that the Blue Jays are playing a early 1990s Yankees strategy of ball, and that's because Donnie Baseball is one of their bench coaches, and that the Blue Jays haven't been playing like that pesky kind of baseball since he was on there. I think you're starting to see a kickback to all this bullshit in baseball. You're going to see go back to the old school way. Starters go in 7 innings, only using 3 relievers. I'll tell you exactly when it happened. In 2015, when the Kansas City Royals won a World Series with about 8 bullpen guys per game. Their starters would go 3 innings, and then they do a bullpen sesh. So since then, now the trend is dying on the vine. Unless you're the Los Angeles Dodgers and you're shitting Tiffany cufflinks and you do whatever you want, whenever you want, and you can't fucking do anything wrong.
But Hal's going to spend the money, right? Because they're going to wind up in the top percentile in spending money.
Yeah.
But Cashman's back, Boone's back. Those are the obvious ones. We won't get into pitching coaches or hitting coaches. I think the hitting was a little more of a problem than the starting pitching from what I saw. I know Fried wet the bed, but you're getting Cole back. What's the first move you want done when it comes to this lineup? If it's Bellinger, are you extending Jazz?
Okay, so Jazz, we got him for 1 more year. Jazz can be traded.
And you got McMahon another year.
So here we go. Jazz can be traded. You move Volpe over to second. You still have 1 year of control over Volpe. You're paying him league minimum. He has an arm for second base, and if he has to cut down his range, he can definitely be the starting second baseman of a team. Also, that's 1 more year, do or die year for Anthony Volpe to see what we got. Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells need to come back. They need to come back. We need to develop them. We need to see them for 1 year. Austin Wells still finished with 23 home runs. Austin Wells finished with the same amount of home runs that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had this year, and he makes $500 million, and he's not a catcher, okay? So there is, and also he plays a great defense behind the plate. Austin Wells got the shit beat out of him this year. Literally every single game, there was 3 instances, I'm not exaggerating, 3 instances where he got a comebacker, either in the chops, in the shoulder. It looked like he was in World War I at the end of the year, okay? Cody Bellinger, everyone's shocked by him opting out. Well, you're a moron if you think that Cody Bellinger wasn't going to opt out. He's a Boris guy. He's already making $25 million a year. That's when he goes bye-bye, all right? Cody Bellinger just made 25. That was the locked-in salary from the Chicago Cubs, right? So you have the locked-in salary from the Chicago Cubs. He just had an up year. He's going to fucking dictate 29 now, 29.5, because they won't give him 30. He's going to dictate 29.5. You're going to pay fucking Cody Bellinger for this year. I think he's going to have a down year next year. He's not going to have Aaron Judge protecting him in the lineup. So if he wants to walk, let him go play for the Diamondbacks for $30 million a year. Then you got Trent Grisham. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
okay, Trent Grisham showed back up to earth. He fell back to earth this year. You saw exactly who he was in the postseason. He was who we thought he was, and we let him off the hook. because what they do now is they get him in this hitting lab, Mike, and they get this Chris Carpenter, who we had 3 years ago from the St. Louis Cardinals, who was never a home run guy. Second half of the season, he starts doing this uppercut swing to the little fucking Little League field that we have in right field. He had 13 bombs in the second half of the season.
Yeah, that was great.
That's what Trent Grisham did this year. And if you get 500 at bats, okay? If you get 500 at bats at the ball, you're going to hit 30 home runs if you do that kind of swing to right field. It's going to happen. It's the possibilities of it. Go down the list. If you look at the list of guys that are leaving this team, Yarborough, Trent Grisham, Cody Bellinger, all these guys, Blackburn, who we got off the Mets, who was actually serviceable for us in cleanup time. They all suck.
And Dev.
Bye. Bye-bye. You go bye-bye now. Aaron Hicks from the Sticks is coming off the books. $10 million comes off the books. You let go. You got to cut ties with Giancarlo Stanton now. Frankenstein, who runs like he has snowshoes on, who literally sprains both of his arms when he cuts a Ruby Tuesday steak, this dude. Now he doesn't. He only plays half a season, and now he doesn't produce in the playoffs, and now you're a dinosaur. Bye-bye. Marlins are paying $11 million of that 26, so they're only on the hook for 16, okay? So you either try to trade him. I think you might be able to get something for him for a DJ, for somebody that needs a DH. DJ LeMahieu, 25.5 coming off the books. So you have Paul Goldschmidt. He's going bye-bye. Ben Rice is going to be the first baseman. So now $10 million more comes off. You have a shitload of money coming off of free agency, Mike. Then you have a starting rotation next year that makes my pee-pee hard, okay? You have Garrett Cole. You have Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Cam Schlittler, Will Warren, Clark Schmidt, Luis Heel. Then you have Lombard, Spencer Jones coming up next year. So you have your new starting shortstop, Lombard Jr. at 20 years of age starting at shortstop. You can say bye-bye to Cody Bellinger, and you put Spencer Jones in left field, and you put Dominguez in center because technically Dominguez was a better defensive outfielder. Yes, I'm saying this into the camera. Jason Dominguez was technically a better defender than Trent Grisham, and he doesn't dog it. But if you want to bring Cody back because you have all that extra capital, bring him back. I wouldn't have a problem with it. He plays first base, he plays center, and he's a baseball player.
Yeah, and I guess the lingering problem, I don't know if there's any news if you heard with Aaron Judge's elbow. Is there anything different with that?
There's no news with Aaron Judge. So let's talk about Aaron Judge real quick. I want to ask you from an outside perspective. How do you think his playoffs went?
Well, I got a lot of heat from a couple videos I made, but that's no. That's
well, I mean, come on, bro. Like, I saw first of all, the videos that you made. Nothing was out of pocket. Nothing was out of line.
It's the source people hear it from where they get very defensive.
No. You have to remember, on Instagram, people have no brains. Before people pick up their phone to go on Instagram, they stick a device up their nose and they drag their brain out of their fucking head, and then they start typing. They don't even watch your video. All they see is you as a Met fan talking about the Yankees, and then they just start operating the thumbs.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Like, for instance, I was dying. I did that video of the brawl inside the crowd the other night in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Some guy comments, "What are they fighting about?" Bro, I'm a mile and a half away from these jabronis. We're at a Red Sox-Yankees. It makes my brain melt. So I stopped reading the comments. But if you don't start reading the comments and reply, you get left in algorithm hell. So that's the beast. You know what I'm saying?
No, but yeah, from my perspective of looking at Judge, he's had the thing. He's had big hits in the postseason before. Just last year, he had the 2-run shot against Class A in the 9th to tie it. But what I wanted to see was what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did this series is what I wanted to see from Aaron Judge. Take over game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, game 5. He took over game 3, had the biggest moment of probably his postseason career, but I needed to see personally more Aaron Judge, less Luis Urias in the first 2 games. And the singles are great, but they're awesome. But it's also not his fault. Nobody's getting on base ahead of him because except for the game 1 strikeout, he probably did everything you possibly could ask for except hit the ball over the fence.
Aaron Judge is the Peyton Manning of baseball. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Well, that means he's going to break through eventually.
Yeah, no, he will. I
prove.
think he'll leave. I said it to my friend leaving the stadium the other night, and my buddy's a big playoff Patty. And by the way, I gave him that name. He's not a self-proclaimed playoff Patty, but he's playoff Pat from now on. He's been to about 150 playoff games. He goes, do you think Judge is going to wind up like Donnie Baseball? And I go, yeah, I do. And I go, the only thing, actually, I go, no, he won't wind up like Donnie Baseball. He's going to wind up like Frank Thomas. He's going to win a chip on a team when he's an old man and he really didn't have a lot to do with it. I think that's going to happen, and that's going to be sad. It's going to be like, well, when Donnie Baseball, he retired and they won the championship the next year. So I don't know, man. Aaron Judge is not the problem with this team, okay?
Not far from it.
Imagine being Aaron Judge and looking around you in that bullpen, and you see Anthony Volpe like this in the team meeting. You know, like, bro, you're one of the greatest baseball players ever to draw breath. And I fall into it too. I'm guilty of it too. I get on Aaron Judge. Where are you? The dude hit 500.
No,
500 in the playoffs. He had 11 hits. He had that 3-run shot that was the only noise the Yankees made against the Toronto Blue Jays in the whole goddamn series. The guy just had a top 3 baseball season all time. Like, all time. Carl Yastrzemski, Babe Ruth are the only 2 guys above him. I think he's better than Barry Bonds' season when he was all juiced up. But that's the thing. Aaron Judge is Peyton Manning in the regular season, okay? Then you get a guy like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. because he hits 23 home runs during the regular season and makes $500 million, okay? Then you have somebody like Aaron Judge who makes $100 million less than him, has double the amount of home runs, has double the amount of WAR as him, and probably plays a better Gold Glove defense than him. And you would rather have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on your fucking team. That's baseball, Susan. That's what makes baseball so perplexing and a crapshoot. You think you got it figured out, and then it's like you don't.
It's an impossible question to answer. I just wanted to know from a Yankees fan. I don't know if you remember when I asked you, I think we spoke over the summer, where I said, is Aaron Judge, are you kind of like getting numb to Aaron Judge's greatness at some point?
Absolutely, I am.
And like, because he's going to be entering age 34, if I'm not mistaken. How many years, what's going to happen when he doesn't hit the 50 plus, when he doesn't drive in the 120 plus? The Yankees are going to have to put more around him in the how many years he has left. And it's, as a Yankees fan, does that scare you that he might have 2, 3, 4 years left and they're not going to be able to do it for him?
Okay, so one window is closing. I would say he's got 2 more years of him of 50 home runs. 2 more years.
So, 2 more years of the batting average could stay. He's a great hitter.
Let's say this version, okay, of Aaron Judge we get for 2 more years. He starts declining in 2 years. He started playing baseball late in life. He's got that big frame of his. Move him to first base. Get him out of the outfield. I want him like Dave Winfield. That's how Dave Winfield got the 3,000 hits. On the Minnesota Twins, they put him at first base. When he played for the California Angels, they put him at first base because all he had to do was do the little stretch. If he runs in that outfield, there's a big toe that could get hit on the cement. There's a bunch of things that actually could happen to the New York Yankees. So that being said, 2 years on the window. What was your other question?
What's the confidence level of them? Do you feel putting the stuff around him that he needs to put himself over the top?
Now, my confidence level's high because you just saw what Brian Cashman did in the farm system, and everyone complains about Brian Cashman. Dude, the day that Brian Cashman leaves the New York Yankees is going to be a sad day in Mudville. The New York Yankees aren't the top franchise in baseball anymore. If Brian Cashman leaves, we're just another franchise. I'm telling you that right now. Now, the New York Yankees have changed. Brian Cashman just had his career opus with all these pitchers because all I heard his whole life was that he couldn't develop pitchers, which he couldn't. All he could develop was Phil Hughes, Dylan Betances, and Jabba Chamberlain. That's all and Chang Ming Wong. That's all he did so far. So now he's producing fucking pitchers, and Cam Schlittler looks like the real deal. Will Warren had 33 starts this year. He's going to have another year under his belt. He's going to be a good pitcher. Luis Heal's under another year, third year in a 5-year of control. This is what I'm talking about. The 2026 Yankees is what Brian Cashman was looking for. He was trying to throw us a bone and give us our pound of flesh this year. Everyone knew this wasn't the team. They're not this guy this year. Aaron Judge's window is closing. Garrett Cole's window is closing. Garrett Cole isn't even the number 1 pitcher on this team anymore. Garrett Cole is the number 2 or even the number 3 pitcher on this team right now. Regular season, Max Fried and Carlos Rodon are a better version than Garrett Cole. Who are we going to get from Garrett Cole coming back at 35 with Tommy John surgery? Are we going to get Justin Verlander or are we going to get Clayton Kershaw? Which one are we going to get?
Yeah.
Now, you asked me if I'm getting numb to Aaron Judge's greatness. Yes, absolutely. And so are the fan base. Like, bro, it happened with A-Rod, and talk about getting heat from a video. I don't know if you saw that YouTube video I put about A-Rod. And,
Yeah.
And, and by the way, funniest comment, by the way, I think it was from Rambo. He goes, it's not a Minotaur, it's a Centaur. It's like, bro, like, what are we talking about here? You know, like, I love the guy, and this isn't hate or any smoke or anything. I love the sports fan that goes in the comments section when you get one thing wrong, right? Like,
Yeah.
the Red Sox were wearing their yellow jerseys tonight. They were white. And then that's it. No like, no, like that, no effort. Just they were white. It's like, okay, I know I'm going to get some stuff wrong, you know? All right, well, let's talk about your Mets. Let's go, Mets go. They pretty much let go Chavez, was the sacrificial lamb for that. And he was on, did you see that clip of him being interviewed by Foul Territory?
Yeah.
What happened on that?
So he's calling for guys to be fired and from that because they misquoted him. He said
Foul Territory, they're asking for guys from Foul Territory to be fired.
Yeah, Chavez is. He said, whoever the interviewer was, his name's escaping me right now. He said Chavez put something on Instagram, a post saying, this guy put words in my mouth. This guy should be fired because I didn't say it. If you want a quote, you could just ask me directly. You had me on for the interview.
So what, they pretty much did a hard copy on him where they edited this thing to make him look bad?
Yeah, because he was speaking about changing Juan Soto's approach at the plate.
Yeah.
And
they told him to be more aggressive or something. I saw something.
Yeah, he wanted him to be more aggressive with the first or second pitch of the at bat. I'm sorry, it's just maybe I'm a homer at this point, but if there's 1 or 2 or 3 guys in baseball that I don't think you really need to tweak their approach at the plate. I think Juan Soto should be the guy telling you, if he wants to tweak something at the plate.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I don't think. You're talking about a third baseman that won a batting title for the Oakland Athletics that we killed in Moneyball. And Juan Soto looks at him and is like, yeah, you're going to tell me now what to do? I don't think so. Yeah. And then go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he mentioned something about putting Soto in the leadoff position as well because of his on-base percentage and how he gets on base. And prevalent more because of the 38 stolen bases that came out of nowhere this year. But he's not. I mean, as great as Juan Soto's not a leadoff hitter. These are some of the reasons why the Mets did have to clean 95% of their managerial staff out of there.
You know me. I'm watching the New York Yankees every single night. But like, ESPN is the worst, bro.
Yes,
I'm watching them every. Juan Soto's killing me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Chavez is a guy that's not going to be able to tell Juan Soto what to do. But what kills me is, like I said, is that Juan Soto can put his mind to anything that he wants. And it just showed when he only had one error with about 3 games left in the regular.
They're just monkeying around at the zoo.
Aaron Baboon and Aaron Judge starring Zoos on First.
Regular season, and this guy yellow defense last. This is the Aaron Judge thing. He's not the problem. Juan Soto is not the problem. I would think I would go out on a limb here and say Chavez is the problem. No.
Yeah, and something nobody was a fan of coming into the Aaron Chavez. That's probably his twin brother. Eric Chavez. He survived 3 different Met regimes, and I don't know. And I'm not saying Carlos Mendoza is perfect, but you're giving him 2 guys, and Hefner got a bad rep. He's actually been on the staff since 2017, but he's actually been a decent pitching coach for what he got out of the team last year. I don't blame him at all for what happened this year. That's more of a Stearns thing. But the fact that these guys survived multiple firing regimes and then were also just handed to Carlos Mendoza, I don't think is fair. I think you should just that's exactly why these guys needed to clean house and come up with something different. At least let Mendoza pick his own guys.
You know what, though? Yeah, it's just like Parcells said, at least let me buy the groceries.
If you're going to fire, if you want me fired at this point, because if they don't perform this year, he's most likely getting fired next year.
The one thing,
so let me go out with my people.
The one thing I did get from Chavez, though, he really went to bat for the coaching staff of the New York Mets, and he said, but he made an interesting comment about JD Martinez and OMG being the big leaders on that team last year, and they got rid of them ASAP. Like that was that was like the first thing the Mets did.
I think Martinez has a real legit shot at I don't know if he's retired yet. I don't think so.
Yeah, did he even play this year?
No, I think he's got a legit shot of coming back as a hitting coach. I've seen Manny Ramirez is getting like a lot of build to be a hitting coach. I mean, listen, hitting coach is a hitting coach. The players have to perform. I know a little bit coming from that, but the Iglesias thing, I get it. Everybody wanted him back, but you can't replicate that kind of stuff back-to-back seasons.
The firing of the hitting coach is the most disingenuous pound of flesh to your fans from an owner that you could possibly do. It's the lowest hanging fruit. It's the dumb go-to. Fire the hitting coach. Wasn't Kevin Cash a hitting coach? You had Kevin Long for a while. He was great for you guys. And then
he's great now in Philly.
Yeah, and he's in Philly now?
Yeah, he's been great.
Oh. Speaking of Philly, let's talk about that. Holy shit last night, bro. Philadelphia was down bad last night. If you live south of New Jersey, don't even look at this show or you might want to lay low for a little while.
It's seeing them lose is a lot of fun. Seeing them lose in that fashion is even more fun.
Yeah.
On the guy who just picks up the ball and just doesn't know what to do with it. And the Dodger, he didn't even touch home plate initially. He had to come back to touch home plate. And it was
such an errant throw that even if he hit him in the middle, even if he hit him in the middle of the chest, he would have been out. Why did he not go to first base? Because he's is the guy a lefty? Was the pitcher a lefty?
Righty.
Yeah, man, you got to go to. If you were a lefty, I could see you going to first base and then you underhand it because you got to do a pirouette if you want to go to left. If you want to go to first base. That you know what? Thank God the Yankees won in the way that they did. Okay, because those are so much worse. Then I can't do that. Like not bringing Nestor Cortez in against the Dodgers last year, heartbreaking. Anthony Volpe's defense in big spots last year, absolutely. Aaron Judge's fucking drop ball. Those were we had three big heartbreaking moments in one season, but I was just talking about Juan Soto's Guardians home run, and that sticks out to me is that's exactly what the secret sauce that the Yankees are losing. That guy's got a secret mojo about him. You know what? Maybe he's the perfect example of a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and a Juan Soto. Juan Soto's a finisher. Juan Soto's a closer to it. So real quick, talking about your free agents on the Mets, you got Edwin Diaz. He has a player option, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which he hasn't exercised yet.
I think he's going to exercise it. He's dumb if he doesn't. He's the best closer in baseball, and I want to steal him from you.
Yes, I know.
So, do you think the Mets are going to retain him?
100%. If I'm David Stearns and whoever else is running that show, that's my top. That is number one top priority is re-signing Edwin Diaz. Make him the highest paid closer of all time. He deserves it. That trade was ridiculed when they first made it. Different regime. The trade was ridiculed. We took back Cano, but we got back the best closer, honestly, in Mets history, and you got to pay him now. That's top priority.
Joe Long, thanks for the love, brother. I appreciate it. You guys have been really nice in the comment section. People liking it, Mike. People saying hello. People are really feeling the G-Men. If anybody has any questions for the show, please let them in. Also, the Dodgers. They've literally ruined one of my favorite songs of all time. I Love L.A. So the reason I love that, first of all, I'm not a big fan of the West Coast. I love San Diego. But, like, I love that song because of the movie Naked Gun.
Yeah.
At the end with the montage that they have, and they're eating the hot dogs at the baseball game. It's like one of my favorite, like, key moments. And they have ruined that song for me, man. That and Shakedown Street on Fox when they go to commercial break always reminds me of the World Series and the Dodgers. Dodgers are going to win the World Series again. We have a Dodger team that omitted their only loss to the Mets. They omitted their only loss to the Yankees in the postseason last year. They come out, they fiddle fucking the West Coast. They make the San Diego Padres thirsty, and they know that they ain't got the sauce. Everybody's hurt on their team, and somehow, next man up, and they did it. And they're going to do it again this year. They have absolutely nobody. Everyone and their mom is hurt, and Kershaw is a shadow of himself, and they're going to win another chip. I don't get it, man. I really, that's the thing about the analytics. Those are analytics done well. Because Dave Roberts ain't a better manager than Aaron Boone or Mendoza.
No, even a lot of people I hear talk about Roberts, they don't look at him as this great manager.
Well, I mean, didn't they say that shit about Torrey too? It was a set and forget it kind of lineup. And when you have Ohtani, who does, that's the thing. Like my buddy was talking about Judge and Ohtani. Like, who would you rather have in a big spot? But that narrative's got to kind of change after the postseason that Aaron Judge just had.
And the one that Ohtani's currently having is not doing him any favors either. 1 for 20 in his last 21 at-bats.
Would you say Ohtani's 1 for 20 in the last 21 at-bats?
Yeah, like 1 for 20, a lot of Ks. He didn't look too good in that Philly series.
Well, I think, what's kind of, I know this is going to be copium, but maybe he's just really concentrating on the pitching. Because that's where the Dodgers really need their help from. I mean, I know you can chew gum and walk at the same time. But, like, think about this. He performs at a high rate on both positions, pitcher and positional player, which is unbelievable. And he won a chip with Tommy John in one arm. He was hitting with one arm in the World Series last year.
He needed surgery.
Okay? Like, bro, he is unbelievable. Greatest player you've ever seen in your life? Shohei Ohtani?
No, I would still go. I mean, he's there, but I would still. I'm not trying to kiss ass here, but to me, it's still Judge. I'm not
more so than Barry Bonds.
The steroids thing throws me off. I know everybody was doing it, but because my favorite player of all time is Alex Rodriguez, so I would love to tell you A-Rod. But I know if we're not saying steroids, I would tell you Bonds or A-Rod.
I mean, to be honest, though, and this is allegedly, okay? All this steroid talk is allegedly, folks. But who's to say that Judge is clean?
Everybody could be on it. I mean,
like, I keep hearing that thrown around. It's like, well, Judge is our first clean gut. What?
Do they even test anymore?
Yeah, they test, but yeah, it's more blood doping. It's like it's the thing that LeBron James does. They're doing the old what's it called? Lance Armstrong now. It really is blood because so this is, get your tinfoil hat out. Amphetamines used to be a large part of baseball. There used to be beans, leaded and unleaded pots of coffee on the table from the 60s all the way up until they got amphetamines out of the game. And in fact, when they cracked down on baseball, that was one of the biggest parts of baseball was amphetamines, not steroids, because those are the things that make guys get up for games when they got 6 games in a row in August that they can be attentive. It's pretty much methamphetamines. So you have that, and then when that dropped out of the game, so by blood doping and by literally oxygenating your blood, you can get that boost because when you exercise, you lack the oxygen content in your bloodstream. Little science experiment for you today, guys, here on New York Minute. Little fucking Dr. Wizard. But it helps, and it gives you energy. Look at LeBron James. Also, did you see all the plastic surgery that LeBron James got in the offseason?
I saw his Decision 2.0.
Did you see his face?
His lips look weird.
He looks like Kris Jenner, for Christ's sakes. Have you seen her? Yeah. Have you seen a new picture of Kris Jenner? No, I'm talking about the wife.
Oh, the actual, the wife. Yeah, she looks amazing.
She looks like bro, That's not amazing because she's a hobgoblin underneath those clothes.
Some of them look better without all that crap done. I don't know why. I mean, when you have the money, people, I don't know. When you have money, you do weird stuff.
Before we start going off on Kris Jenner's hobgoblin body, do you think that a lot of the moves that Major League Baseball is doing, especially front offices, are heavily dictated on that there's going to be a strike in 27. So I think that all these dudes are trying to consolidate and put a huge emphasis on 26 because there's probably not going to be a 27.
Yeah, which sucks.
And, well, let's get through 26 first. Who knows? But I know that we got Manfred showing up in the locker room, to the Philadelphia Phillies locker room, 2 years away from a strike. It's not looking good. That's why I'm going to the World Baseball Classic spring training, and I'm trying to get in as much. I'm going to overdose on baseball this year coming up. So I think that's another reason. That's another thing that keeps Aaron Boone his job. Like, why would I let go Brian Cashman, who's been the GM for 36 years, the year before a strike?